The top of the line SUV model also gets an upgrade, the top of the line in the sporty sense, with the Mercedes-AMG GLE 63s. Here also the facelift. Recently we presented you the normal GLE facelift, both for SUV and coupe, and now we have the AMG 63 version with the 8-cylinder under the hood. What's new? And everything of that here counts for coupe and SUV, just to mention that. And now with Thomas and Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length, let's go with this new front grille. Really massive vertical fins in there. Then you have the large Mercedes star. It's also illuminated on markets where it's allowed, for example in the North American market. This one here also carries a night package, so then you have this dark chrome grille right here. Otherwise it would be brighter, and I can show you that with the GLS 63 just very quickly. Here, this is the bigger brother, so to speak, and this one here has the standard grille without the night package. Then it is actually in chrome. So back to our 63 GLE. We've also revised the lower bumper and also typical the air intakes here for the AMG. So everything is about air intakes right here. The color we see here is, by the way, Ireland green. So best greetings also to our Irish viewers today. And you also have the AMG crest on top of the hood. Then new lamp design also here for the AMG version. I have still activated the turning indicators or headlights because in the bright sunlight you can better see them when they're yellow. Otherwise this is the daytime running light. And you can also differentiate. The GLE has, this horizontal logic, whereas the GLS then has them, above each other. So let's take a look at the side profile. But wait a minute, have you seen it as well? When I was approaching the car, I was like, is the hood properly closed? Yeah, it is properly closed, but this gap here is actually functional as well for even more air intake. Yeah, that's what they said. But this is also the same for the normal version, not only for the AMG. And by the way, here in the background, AMG has some fancy decorations, obviously, and yeah, they thought, let's make it a 70s discotheque or something. Yeah, I hope you're not irritated by that. Welcome to the psychedelic AMG showroom. Let's focus on the car here with the coupe side silhouette. As I said, it's available here as the coupe and also as the SUV. In this top AMG spec, a lot of customers also fancy the coupe silhouette because it's even sportier. Interesting is that the wheelbase of the coupe is 6 centimeters shorter, just a tiny bit, than the one of the SUV. I wonder, why would you do that in production? I mean, it's not really cost effective to do that kind of production. The logic behind it is when the coupe has a shorter wheelbase, it has a little bit sportier handling, especially for the AMG version. That might make sense. The total length here is 4 meters 94 or 194 inches. Wheels here, the biggest ones that are available in 22-inch. It would start with 21 for the GLE 63, here with 22, and also optional the carbon ceramic brakes. Also then here with these golden or orange golden brake calipers, massive styling, definitely. And interesting that we have a small little detail here. Here the fuel cap. This is not standard, sadly, it's an option. So there you have a special AMG fuel cap. Look at that. So yeah, I would have liked that they make something like this standard, that you don't have to individually select this. Then the coupe once again stays, let's say, a little bit more like before. You do also have here the stars on the inside of the tail lamps. This is new. There you can also see the turning indicator, for example. But the main difference is here, this is all body color. If you would have the SUV version, then you would now also have this huge black connecting decor element we also know from the GLC EQ now. It is more like, say, a modern design language. I found it that way more beautiful because between the lamps, it should be body color, shouldn't it? Or make the lamps connecting. But why would I need like a big black bar here in between? Shall I show you how it looks like? Because that's actually also with the GLS. 63, yeah, you know, like GLC, GLE, GLS. Yeah, and I mean, this looks also massive here with 23-inch wheels, the biggest ones available for the GLS 63 here. And this is actually how the GLE 63 would also look like in the rear, with this huge black bar right here. And I don't know, I'm not a big fan of that. Are you? Tell me in the comments. Here, by the way, 3 rear stars for the GLS, and you have 2 then for the GLE models right there. What else technology-wise? You have air suspension. It also adapts to the speed, so when you're driving a little bit faster, it goes down. You can set it in the sport mode to a sportier mode, for example. In the comfort mode, it's more comfortable. Rear-wheel drive? No, it's all-wheel drive always, but with a rear-wheel biased concept. And then it also is pretty much variable, this all-wheel drive, where it sends the power to which kind of percentage. And then we can take a look here at the lower part. This is then the exhaust, also dark chrome with this night package. And you can see these are, oh, the audio fake exhaust release has a big echo here in this outside white bath tube studio. When I so the audio fake exhaust release is not happy to see this. This will get a fine, definitely, yeah, because the real exhaust is on the inside. They say they have also massively worked on the exhaust node. Sadly, it's not allowed yet to turn it on here today, because this is not like the finalized motor, engine, software, and so on, they say. So we're going to do that, if you like, you know, on the driving event very soon. But we can take a look under the engine hood and talk about this meanwhile. So there we go. Because the struggle nowadays is you have new emission laws and you need to bring down emissions. At the same time, you want to keep all the power figures. So what happened with the normal GLE models was that all engines, you know, they got mild hybrid system if you didn't have one so far, and also they got the torque boost. Here the torque stayed the same at 850 Newton meters, 612 horsepower. There we go. For this 4-liter V8 bi-turbo, so handcrafted as well. So yeah, looks quite fancy, this cover here, in 3.9 seconds in the acceleration figure 0 to 1 kilometers an hour. And these figures are all the same like before. But they say this was actually a struggle, because this is a new updated engine and they kept the power figures while reducing the emissions. That was kind of like the tricky thing about it. Here also properly dampened here. Oh, it's like additional dampening here, single elements left and right. So yeah, always interesting to see. Here also, once again, you know, to make it a little bit stiffer than in the front. Looking forward to drive this one. The last time we drove it, I was actually also in the snow in the mountains. So that's really loud here in this Echo Studio, definitely. But I mean, it's a nice, clean surrounding here to present this car for you. Would you fancy this color here? Tell me in the comments. And now it's of course time to check out the interior. Now to the interior. By the way, one more remark to the suspension. Gets standard air suspension and also anti-roll control. You know, that's also interesting, you know, that the car always keeps like upright. And of course, depending on the driving mode, you know, how, you know, strong it is also from air suspension and so on. Then here, this one is optionally equipped with the soft close. There we go, magic. The night package, once again with this dark chrome. This is the key fob. Oh, this is like Zoll. This is German for customs. Or, yeah, if you would, the plural, like what you apply would be the tariffs, and actually. So, yeah, German Zoll. Maybe has to do something with, I don't know, bringing it here to Spain, the car or something. I don't know. But the key fob has here the AMG badge. You won't get the Zoll sticker, of course, unless you want it. Yeah, maybe I should open the shop with that. And then door closing sound. Even, yes, it has soft close, but we still want to listen to that. Also sounds really good. Also in this echo. There we go. Do you know, by the way, how you call this kind of studio in German? It's called Hohlkehle. Like, how would you even translate that? It's like a empty box, something like that. Not sure if there's a direct translation for that, but Hohlkehle is what you would call that kind of studio. Yeah, best German lessons for the day. Then here, inside of the doors, everything covered. Here, not, and also not on the inside of the door, just the rubber pad on the underneath there. Then classic control for the window levers. Seat control is right here, also here to make the front part a little bit longer. Standard Burmester sound system.
Yay,
and
buttons.
yeah, real buttons for seat cooling and seat heating. Like to have that. Then we have side steps and illuminated entry badge here. AMG illuminated, also AMG floor mats, and my favorite steering wheel here with microfiber at the side. Then you have carbon fiber on the top here, so that's pretty cool. And huge shifting pedals behind it, actually. That's also resonates very well. And yes, return of the real rock and rollers, as Mercedes calls them. So here, physical dials, left and right here, for example, for the volume, left side for the cruise control. So there they have listened to customer feedback. And there's also now a full Artico steering wheel available, by the way. The seats, however, here in the 63 version, only animal skin available. The AMG versions usually also offer like the microfiber on the inside, which is sporty and also animal free. Sadly here not. And it's not because the headquarters didn't offer that. The headquarters wanted to offer that, but then the markets, the individual markets that sell the vehicles said they don't want to have that. Strange, right? Can't understand that decision. And then here with 1A9 6x2, is the seat in the lowest position?
Yeah,
it actually is. So you see, that's close here, but I mean, it's the coupe building style. There you have it. And we have a panoramic roof actually, which is also standard. And it's also one that you can still open. And we rarely have that on the car market nowadays. And it's fairly large, especially then here for the coupe. So yeah, that's interesting. And pretty fancy here. This top light has this ambient lighting, you know, around. That's a beautiful feature, definitely. And I can tell you, yeah, that steering wheel has a great size. And you also know that from our recent driving reviews in the last 2-3 years, that the Mercedes steering input has massively improved in the sporty and progressive direction. So it's really fun to steer them around. Even Leah says that recently.
Yeah.
Sacrilege. Leah recently stated that she thinks that the Mercedes steering is meanwhile better and more precise than BMW. That's bad to hear for BMW, definitely. And here, this is the steering wheel, definitely. You grab it, you see it, you feel it, and it's like, let's drive. What's new here in the cockpit? Of course, the screens, like the normal GLE models. 1, 2, 3 screens. Overall, you call it super screen, although you have here these large black bezels then. The passenger screen, I'm not sure who wants to use it, but it is available. Also fancy with this air vents here in the new styling, the round style at the side and here in the middle part. That also looks a little bit like a monster's face, doesn't it? You know, like when the monster like and wants to eat you alive. But here, nice clicking sounds, so I can control the monster's mouth. There's a pretty cool clicking sounds need. And here in the GLE, that's the stuff. Still with the manual climate unit, also once again with nice clicking sounds. So we have so many new Mercedes models where we do not have that anymore. Switch gear is here, drive, reverse, park, easy to do that. And also, you know, for the ignition then, that's all then there. The middle console, also news here. We have carbon fiber decoy element here, but also then on the middle console. So that reduces the amount, and here, even on this, you know, like hand thing, that reduces the amount of high gloss like piano lacquer, and that's a good thing. But you have to pay attention in the configurator of that, for example. Here, this touchpad was something they invented at some point. I think, not sure if people really used it. Maybe tell me in the comments. I never used it when I was driving this car, actually, because it's too vague to do something with that, honestly. Drive mode selector is also here, that you can go comfort mode, sport, and here so also have some new visualizations then for the individual driving modes then in the infotainment as well. You can slide this one here open in the front, pretty massive. Inductive charging pad with 2 USB-C chargers as an alternative. Then adaptive cup holders, but they won't hold bolts that tight. And here you can cool or heat your beverages. That's also a cool feature that they always think about in GLE, GLS. Why? GLE, GLS are built in Alabama, Tuscaloosa in the US. And that's why I think, wait a minute, European customers don't care about hot or cold drinks, but the US customers do. And that's why GLE and GLS have that. That's like the thought behind it. Air suspension, standard. You can also control it right here, pump it up or pump it down yaw. And then here the split opening for the armrest. It's now a USB-C charging underneath. More space if you like. Yeah, there we go. That's a simple piece, but yeah, you could also just leave it out if you like. Sometimes I do use it and put like the normal, like, you know, door key from home right there. So I would like to know from you, what do you think about this new horizontal setup here with the individual screens? Because that's most obviously the biggest change in here for the GLE. It's also pretty much nicely aligned here with the glove box, falls down. You could also buy this perfume spender. It's not there at this moment. It's another option where you say like, could have that, but you don't really need that actually. So yeah, that all depends. And once again, this nice panoramic view. You can also close this shade here, by the way. That is also possible when it's a really, really hot day. One of my favorite features is definitely that from the inside, we have this nice microfiber covering here all the way across the ceiling. I love that. Also then here on the sun visors. So that's cool. Yeah, also with integrated light. Oh, wait a minute. Best greetings also to our colleagues from the Straight Pipes, because they are also always looking forward to these features. We have the dual sun visor, guys. Nice. That's cool, and all with microfiber, which makes me wonder even much why the microfiber, which is everywhere, didn't make it on the seats where it makes most sense. Now the driver POV, once again with the real jogs here at the steering wheel. Here, this is then still capacitive though. Here you can press in there, that's possible, but you can also turn it and to switch to another. Oh, now we're talking. Brum, 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 yeah, indeed. And on the right side, the driving mode selection. Not sure if that one does. If I press in here, I can, but it doesn't change anything then. Yeah, so this one more for the turning only, but it is you know, theoretically touch on both sides. And then here the digital instruments. This looks interesting because like you know, it's like flipped to the inside in this driving mode. Wait a minute, is that supposed to look like that? Do you see what I mean, guys? What the? Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so you don't have any problem with your eyes. That is the way it is. But you can also switch to this more modern view, although I would prefer this analog gauge view if it was just straight in the tilting. Okay, and you can also go for this map view. And the main infotainment, don't be irritated, this is still the visualization from EQS, so it's not the most, like the last software status, but you can see here when I change the driving modes, then also all the parameters, they change accordingly. Other than that, you have a home menu that looks like this, and it's actually pretty responsive. The interesting thing is that they changed the whole back end as well, and if you go for the car internal GPS, then this one here is actually also Google Maps behind, although it looks still like Mercedes. That's interesting. And important to know, EU speed chime law thing, here press here, and then acoustic warning for the speed limit thing, and the attention assist, like you're tired, make a pause. You can also turn it off, but you need then 2 clicks always. However, there's still the possibility here to press and hold this one on the volume. There we go. So I'm doing this now with the button at the steering wheel. And now we're in the AMG psychedelic club. That's nice. For electronic
It's
music,
pure,
this intense, there's like an intense mode here in the Baumeister sound system now. That's really cool. And I even hear the bass in my feet a little bit.
Really?
So yeah, a little bit here on the driver's side. So beautiful. Sound system here is
Excellent.
top notch.
Yes.
And as I said, now also works very well with electronic music. rear seats. Here, the rear doors, they're also covered on the top part. That's beautiful. By the way, no dual lamination for the glass, neither front or rear, but they are pretty thick, these windows. I can also show that to you here. So even in the rear, it's actually, yeah, pretty thick overall. Pretty thick, yo. You also have seat heating at the rear here with a separate button. That's nice. No cover here on the lower part. And then we have ISOFIX outside each. Did we have on the front ISOFIX as well? No. So ISOFIX just here in the rear. Then we can put this one down. Cup holders also with some adaptive knobs here. I can also just lower this ski hatch here. That's possible, but you cannot change the inclination or something. Is it still okay from the headroom, although it's the coupe? Well, it raises here, so that still works with 1A9 6'2", and legroom is also fine, actually. I mean, it's a large car, so should have that definitely. You sit pretty much low, so it falls backward a little bit. And of course, the angle of the knees is also not the best, let's say, that way, but yeah, there's still enough space. The bolstering here in the rear, especially at the back, is very stiff though. Nice ambient lighting integration, and the decal elements here again in carbon fiber. Then in the rear we have two USB-C chargers in the middle, and here we have a separate climate unit where you can also set left and right. So it's also a good luxury feature. You still have the middle tunnel here, classic all-wheel drive, so I think overall it's fine. Yeah, maybe not the best seating position here in the rear from the ergonomics, but you have enough space. Thank you so much, by the way, for the recent support. And I'm also especially happy when you also support my colleagues when Brian or AJ is doing a video. If you also support them, that would be also really important to me. Now to the trunk of the coupe. Can I still fit stuff in there, although I have just a coupe? Well, first of all, here you flip the logo, and that might be one reason why they maybe couldn't do the black bar there in the rear from the coupe. There we go. And then we open it, and this is an interesting cover because it has this folding mechanism, and you can also take it out, and then you can see you do have some significant storage in there. This also fits in vertically underneath, and the width is actually 1 meters 10 or 43 inches. So this is here like longer than a meter. That's quite significant. Then the length, we're here at 45 inches or 1 meters 15, and there's still space underneath here. Maybe also for a spare tire. And then the height, well, that is of course a little bit limited, but here the highest point is like almost 29 inches or 73 centimeters. The SUV would continue a little bit more here. This is like the limitation when you load things in like there. And now this is like my workout for today. Can reach over like this and like this and like this. So, and then the full length, 4K, full screen, full length in, it's like 1 meters 90, 75 inches. And if you wonder what is the most time consuming part of the review, it is this actually, because it's a long take. You always have like fold seats, if it's a 3-row car, even more so. And remember that we do that for our English version, long format. We do it for our German fans, for the German long version. And then we also do it for our vertical formats on YouTube Shorts, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And so I end up doing this here actually then 4 times. Yeah, to be most authentic for you and to serve as many viewers for, with, different languages and so on, always to deliver you the best service. This is always our #1 priority, best service for you, and everything else comes next, including our well-being. Sometimes, yeah, Leah knows what I'm talking about, so sometimes have the motivator to keep going, but I hope you still see that we still enjoy what we do. The sun has begun to set. There you can also see the signature a little bit better than here now with this new star design, so to speak. And about the pricing, well, the official prices for the facelifts are not out yet. However, the older ones start at 140,000 euros here for the AMG 63 version. So we can expect at least some 150K, I think. And when you then look at that one, this had already a lot of options and so on. I mean, even this AMG fuel cap here right there. So yeah, this will then rather move towards the 200K. And of course, that's ridiculously expensive. Gotta say that for sure. However, I'm looking forward to how it drives. I already know it from the pre-facelift. It drives very, very well. As a little bit cheaper alternative, there would be also the 53 versions. That is also possible. They are available as MHEV, the normal like mild hybrid system, and also as the plug-in hybrid versions. So that would be also something. And I would like to know from you, would you like to see a driving review of this one here, the facelifted 63S, or would you also like to see driving review here of the updated GLS 63, then please vote for that in the comments. And now check out more AMG reviews.